The Champions League is back with a bang. We've seen crazy goals, comebacks, shock results, and I am here to cover all 6 games from today. Unfortunately though, guys, we have to start with the early 5:45 kickoffs, which the one that we watched in particular, I suppose, was anything but a bang. Arsenal v Bilbao. Of course, in my predictions video, I told you guys Arsenal win this game 2-1. Or if they bring their best lineup and their serious team, it will be 2-0 clean sheet. It's fair to say that on this one, I cooked. And let me have this one, because later on, as we're going to see, there may be some that I might require a bit of arresting, if you will. Now, to be fair, the first 20-25 minutes, it seemed as though it was all Bilbao. The fans were rocking. You know, it's their first time in Champions League for however many years. Now, it must be like a decade or something like that at this point. Arsenal were all over the place. Sloppy passes, like nothing was clicking. Again, the midfielders, they were not doing anything to get Eze the ball, to get, you know, Madueke the ball. It was just very, like, they seemed shell-shocked, if you will. But, of course, Bilbao, without Nico Williams, I almost said Inaki Williams, without Nico Williams today, they were just lacking that cutting edge, and they never really looked like scoring at any point, if that makes sense. Like, they were kind of pouncing on sloppy errors from the midfield, but again, nothing would happen. And mainly because of one man, to be fair, Mosquera. Can we all be upstanding? I know, again, some of you guys, you might be lying down in bed watching this because it's midnight, 1 a.m. You might be on the toilet seat watching this. Wherever you are, please be upstanding, because this Mosquera guy, 2 weeks in a row now, I've not neglected him, but I've ignored him in my Team of the Week videos because there was just someone better. At this point, I can't lie. Lock his space already for next week Team of the Week. This guy is ridiculous, bro. 12 million for this kind of performance. I'll be honest, I did not know much about this guy. I keep on saying it. Up until pre-season when I seen him, I said, oh, right back, centre back, and you're this comfortable. Wow, fair enough. He was impeccable. Gabriel was impeccable, as per usual. We expect that from him by now. So Bilbao didn't really offer anything whatsoever, right? And that's one thing. Like, the first half was really, really boring. At the same time, when you go to these kind of grounds in the Champions League, your job is not to entertain us, right? Whether that be you support the team, you're a neutral, whatever. It's not their job to entertain. It's their job to go and get a professional win, and that's kind of exactly what this was. Now, Gyökeres, to be fair to him, I said previously that if he's not scoring, it's going to be a game where, you know, rival fans are going to go and clip it up and make a fail comp or something. This might be the best game he's played, and yet he didn't score a goal, because his hold-up play was sharp. His runs, he looked a bit lighter, and obviously the only unfortunate thing for him is that he had that nasty head injury clattering with Gabriel. I mean, it was an all-out war in this game, I can't lie. We had players headbutting each other, people were just flying into tackles, Eze was flying into tackles and then getting some back. And unfortunately for Gyökeres, the lack of service meant that the moment he came off, suddenly Arsenal did spark into life. Trossard came on initially, and then a few minutes later and whatnot, Martinelli came on, and within 30 seconds, he opens the scoring. Trossard, within his own half, flicks it over. Martinelli, in his own half, runs. I mean, reminiscent of, you could say, the goal at the Stamford Bridge against Kante. He's done it so many times. Like, you could argue the Bernabeu as well. He runs through and slots it. I'll be honest, a bit lucky with the finish. Like, it goes right in the angle of not right at the keeper, but not far enough that he can get his arm to it. It's kind of stuck, like, under his armpit. So he scored, and then they, I guess, returned the favour. Roles are reversed, whereby Martinelli now does great work on the byline, by the way, to find Trossard. Trossard fires it in. A little bit of a deflection, hits the post, goes in. 2-0. Again, a professional job. And realistically, Champions League, again, match day 1, match day 2, you can't really ask for much more than that, right? We know now how crucial every single point is in this group phase. And I'll be honest, I don't know if you guys agree with me. I think this group phase is way better than, like, the having 6 games or whatever. I think this is cold. And the fact that PSG almost got eliminated and managed to win it, whereas Liverpool, let's say, finished first and then didn't win it, I think it was really good. And in the end, we had a lot of top 8 teams making the final 8, the final 4, etc. So yeah, I'm liking the phase so far. This game, as I said, it was nothing to write home about. It was as routine as you like. But one thing, like I did tell you guys, the reason why I see Arsenal doing very well is because of how almost impenetrable they are, right? Like, for all the pressure, for all the misplaced passes, even like Declan Rice, yeah, it wasn't his best game in Champions League. And normally, every Champions League game, whether it be Real Madrid, PSV, everyone, Rice is, you know, they're dominating. He got an early-ish yellow today and was kind of understandably tentative going into more tackles because you don't want to get a red away Bilbao, obviously. So in the end, boom, you know, 2-0 win. Arteta will be happy. No injuries, bar. I mean, I don't know what happened to Gyökeres' head, but yeah. Madueke was a bit, I won't say quieter. I would say he beat his man a few times, but it was a much tougher battle for him, where whenever he did get past, he was crossing it straight to the keeper. Eze looked very clean as well, but his issue is, it's not even his issue. Nobody was giving him the ball because, as we said, Mikel Merino, his thing is just stay in the box and just finish. He's not going to be the guy that's sliding you passes and whatnot. So it's difficult. And I, in my opinion, again, we can all say what we saw from the game. Of course, you guys know I read all the comments, so feel free to give me all your opinions on all the games. As per usual, I'll be there replying because, you know, we're on the road to that 100k. And today, by the way, we hit the 40,000. We hit 40,000 today, so big ups for that. Road to 50k for next month begins now. But yeah, as I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, so with Eze, I thought he'd go in the middle and Marino would come off, but somehow Marino played like the entire thing. Yeah, fair enough. Listen, when Arteta makes the subs and the sub scores within 30 seconds, you cannot complain. You just say, okay, you know what? Fairs, you have that. So, big win, 2-0 away Bilbao. I'll take a W for a correct prediction. And now, I'm under arrest because I did say PSV would win. But, hear me out on this one. Before I go to the evening 8 p.m. games, because there were some banging games, I'm going to briefly touch on this one because I didn't really watch that much of it, I'll be honest. I saw Anthony Taylor was the ref. I said, I don't want to see this, bro. I told you guys in my group phase prediction, Union Saint-Gaulois, they shouldn't be slept on. They're going to make the playoffs. You're calling me Union Glazer. Why do you rate Union like that? So you guys peer pressured me into going and changing my Union 2-1 win into a PSV 2-1 win. And now I've messed up. So if I'm going to jail, you're all coming with me because you guys pressured me into it, bro. But with that being said, listen, Union, I mean, the first goal was a penalty, but obviously, you know, all was calm. The second goal, slalom through like he was doing Splashdown 2, Rise Gone Wild. You might not know about that game, but those who know on PS2, what a game that was. They went 3-0 up, and eventually ended 3-1. But yeah, as I said, the Dutch teams, they're going nowhere in this competition. I should have stuck with my guns. I put Ajax and PSV to get relegated or whatever the bottom 8 is, and I stand by it. But let's go to the 8 p.m. games because, like I said, there were some corkers. We'll start with, I guess, Madrid. That's probably, well, not probably, it is the biggest team that played tonight. But it started a bit shaky for them, huh? Because Marseille opened the scoring. Tim Weah running through on the counter, and I got flashbacks to his dad, George Weah from Milan v Verona back in 1996, for those of us who remember. Now obviously the Verona goal, he ran the entire pitch before scoring. Tim Weah didn't quite do that. It was more of a counter because of one particular player making an error. Guys, uncomfortable conversations. Arda Güler. I've been gassing up this guy. I'm not going to say I'm gassing him like crazy, but I liked him at the Euros. Obviously he's a really talented player, but when is he going to kick on and become like a key part of this team, like another Turkish player that we're going to speak about very, very soon? Because he spent most of this game, you know, on the floor complaining, oh, where's my foul? Where's the free kick? He's losing the ball. And I understand, listen, that the Turkish guys, they're going to start shouting, and I know how much you ride out for this guy. But let's also call a spade a spade. When he plays bad, we have to be honest and not just be disingenuous. This was a really, really bad performance from him. He lost the ball. They got the counter. Marseille go 1-0 up. Luckily enough, Real Madrid, they get a penalty, and who scores? Mbappe. That is my prediction for top scorer this season. So him getting that penalty, I said, okay, we're back. Now I'm expecting Madrid to go on, take charge of the game. And to be fair, they were making a lot of chances. Rodrigo started this game, by the way. Vinny was on the bench, so that was something definitely interesting. However, so many Madrid chances were either fired right at the keeper or long range shots, or I would see Mastantuano, who, I don't know how you guys assess his game today. I'm a bit in two minds about it, because on the one hand, his touch and dribbling looked exceptional, but on the other hand, it looked like he was playing FIFA Street. You know when you're getting the game breaker, yeah, and you don't want to shoot, so you just start wiggling the stick and you start press square, triangle, R2, L2, doing bare skills but not shooting. He beat like 3-4 men and didn't get the shot away. I said, bro, what are you doing, bro? Just take the shot and finish it. So in the end, Madrid started getting frustrated, and lo and behold, the frustration led to Carvajal losing his head completely. We found his head. It was in Geronimo Rolli's, in between his eyebrows over there, bro. He headbutted a guy. After, I don't know if you got rage baited, I don't know what, bro, but you're like 35. How you getting rage baited? Do you know what I mean? I know I'm an unk, yeah, so I also get rage baited sometimes, but a professional footballer in the Champions League getting rage baited, that's poor. He got the red card. I said, oh no. My 3-1 prediction is cooked now because, again, Marseille looked dangerous on the counter. As I told you guys, look, De Zerbi is a really, really good coach. Amenyah had some good chances. He's someone that loves the Bernabeu as well. I believe they said in the commentary, 5 goals in his last 4 appearances at the Bernabeu. Should have been 7 goals because he had 1 really good chance. The second one was a good save from Courtois. But Real Madrid. Now, before I say anything, I don't want to hear Madrid fans complain. I don't want to hear Barca fans complain. Because as I always say, you men are two like homeless men arguing about whose box is the meatiest when it comes to like who's the biggest cheats, bro. This second penalty is never a handball. I'm sorry. When your arm is I thought the rule was if your arm is planted on the floor, it cannot be a penalty. Yet, lo and behold, somehow, some way, it gets given as a penalty. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care because I put Madrid to win. So I'm all for it. I'm going to shamelessly back it. But let's call a spade as per usual. This channel, as I'm sure you've seen by now, is not about, you know, spreading agendas or whatever, unless it's against Luis Suarez. And of course, I'm always going to have an agenda on him. But in general, let's try to have normal conversations, whether you like a player, dislike a player. Leave the rage bait thing to like TikTok and whatnot in it. Over here, we have normal convos. That's not a pen. If that's a penalty, we should wrap it all up, bro, because nah, I don't enjoy that. But listen, Mbappe scores another penalty. But in fairness, I mean, it's not easy scoring the second penalty of a game because the keeper, there's mind games. Am I going to go the same way? Is it going to change the taker? I don't know what's going to happen. He scores 2-1 in the end. Arguably could have been 3. Did I mention, by the way, within the first minute, his bicycle kick? I was sparked into life, bro. After watching the Arsenal game and nearly falling asleep, within 1 minute, Mbappe's doing bicycle kick. But yeah, they ended up winning the game 2-1, so yeah, big ups to them. That's their first win. Trent, by the way, it's looking a bit shaky, I must say. I've got him as one of my, you know, best signings of the window. He went off injured. I don't know how long for. I don't know what's going to happen here, but yeah, the amount of injuries he's been picking up in the last 12 months, not ideal. But we go to Spurs. Again, not much happened here, but I'll have you know that my analysis was correct, if you would. I'm going to keep on telling you guys that, like, I'll give you the correct description of what will happen, but the scoreline might be a little off, right? So I told you guys Tottenham are going to win 2-1 because we're going to have Villarreal's right-hand side causing a major problems, but Spurs will control the midfield and therefore, you know, they're going to get the win. It kind of happened like that, but unfortunately, within minute 3, I believe it was, Tottenham go down their other side, so not Villarreal's strong side. They whip it in, and the goalkeeper decided, you know what? I'm going to throw it in my own net. He basically looked behind him and did my thing of, look, go and subscribe. He started pointing to the back of his thing like he's waiting for a YouTube plaque, bro. My friends, this is why mixed race people aren't to be trusted. Especially those that have braids. Why is this guy in goal with his Pinto haircut from Barcelona 2009, for those of us who remember? What on earth was that? Is he trolling? Minute 2, minute 3 of Champions League, and you manage to throw the ball in your own net like that? Come on, guys. Let's be serious. As I told you guys, though, the right-hand side will be a threat for Spurs, and lo and behold, Nicolas Pepe, incredible performance from himself, just unlucky to not get the goal, right? First time, he whips it, it's about a foot wide of the post. Second time, even closer. In the second half, he gets a free kick, whistles past the post again. He was so close to scoring, and me personally, I'll be honest, I love that celebration, bro. You know the little I wanted to see that, bro, but we didn't quite get it because, well, yeah, all 3 shots went marginally wide. The game was quite dead, to be honest with you. Xavi Simons got an early yellow. You could argue he may have been sent off, right? He maybe got a bit lucky to not get the second yellow card. All in all, he was okay. A bit quiet in terms of he kept it simple, right? I feel like he didn't want to end up in any like failed compilations or whatever. So he wasn't really trying anything other than like a half volley that was cleanly hit in the first 10-20 minutes. So yeah, Spurs get the win. Like I told you, they'll win by a goal. I just said 2-1 rather than 1-0. But I think, again, that's still worth a like on the video. That's still worth a subscription from you, because at the end of the day, if you're putting Tottenham win on your ACCAs, that means I was correct, because many of you said Villarreal would win or they will draw. Now, we move on to Juve Dortmund. The game of the day. but it didn't seem like it. The first half, 0-0. This is how you know it was so bad, yeah? 0 minutes added time at the end of the first half. The whistle, 45-0-0, the ref said, you know what? Let's just go to the changing rooms now, bro. He went to go on his phone and watch my last videos for some entertainment because he wasn't feeling that game at all. But in second half, it sparked into life in big time, by the way. So minute, 53 or so, Dortmund opened the scoring. It's Amenyah linking up. Adeyemi, lovely play. Lloyd Kelly, who we'll speak about, gets absolutely sent. And Adeyemi whips it 1-0. You're thinking, oh, wow. I obviously had Juve to win 2-1. And again, at halftime, I'm thinking, bro, so I've spent like a week telling you guys, yo, these guys are cold, they're sick, like they're really exciting to watch now. And you give me a 0-0. Well, we got our lick back because Juve started bagging, right? We start seeing Kenan Yildiz again, who I told you. Do you remember when I mentioned the first goal of this entire Champions League new format in its existence last season, him scoring that rocket? I told you he'll do it again, and there you are. I keep on repeating. If that's not worth you subscribing, I don't know what is. You're getting this free of charge. This is mind-boggling information. So he's done that, but then we start seeing FIFA 19 kickoff goals, bro. They're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Vlahovic is even scoring a goal. That's how you know it starts getting crazy. They get a penalty. There's some beef about, is it going to be Girassi or Bensebaini? Bensebaini takes it, and to be fair, lovely finish actually. Puts it bottom left corner. But then he got a bit too gassed. He got a bit excited because at 4-2, rather than just clearing the ball out and seeing the last 5 minutes away to win it away from home in a big Champions League game, he's trying to nutmeg guys and look cool from left back, bro. You're a left back. With all due respect, let's be serious, you know? They lose the ball, whip it in, bang, 4-3. You're thinking, oh, here we go. We are in for a grandstand final 5 minutes. And lo and behold, the man who was somewhat responsible for the first goal, Lloyd Kelly, scores a 96-minute header to equalize 4-4. 8 goals in about, what's that, 35 minutes or so? I hold my hands up, bro. I said Juve win. They didn't win. We have to be grown-ups and say when we get things wrong. I got that one wrong, guys. So apologies if you had that in your ACCA. I didn't put that in my ACCA because I was not certain on it. But alas, there we are. The final game of the night. I need to listen to my own self. No, in fact, this is not my fault. I told you guys the Liga NOS is terrible, right? And I got shouted at. I said I don't respect the league anymore after what I saw Club World Cup. But silly me for thinking that surely you're gonna beat an Azerbaijan team in Qarabag 2-0. Well, at 2-0 up, I'm there thinking, yep. Hey, where's my standing ovation, guys? And they're waiting for guys in the comments like, remember, you were cold. You said 2-0. Yeah. They lost 3-2. They somehow managed to throw a 2-0 lead to lose 3-2. And by the way, some nice goals, right? The second goal to make it 2-2 with the equaliser. Well, okay, first of all, Pavlidis making it 2-0 and then ghosting. What's that about? What's that about? Why are you just scoring bare goals and I don't see you for the rest of the game? What's happening? So anyway, second goal, posting in, 2-2. I said, no, come on. Benfica, wake up, bro. People have got access to it. Now, in our defense, and something that we can enjoy, if you use that certain website, you know that when Benfica go 2-0 up, it doesn't matter. You've got your early payout. So I said, you know what? Go and lose. If you're going to disgrace yourself, go and lose. I've got my money already, so you do whatever you want. Lo and behold, minute 85, Qarabag, what's his name again? I don't want to get it. Kashchuk gets the ball in the box, swivels, left foot, posting in. Fair play. 3-2 win. Incredible scenes for them. They're loving life. Benfica, like the other Portuguese teams, will struggle in this tournament. But yeah, we've been off to a banger. And look, I hope you guys have enjoyed because we're going to be back here again tomorrow. So listen, if you aren't able to watch the games, don't worry, because I'm there like I'm in the VAR room, you know. I've got the screen like that. I'm there changing the channels. I'm there like a DJ changing the screens to look at who's scoring, who's missing, what's happening. So don't worry, I got you guys covered in case you're missing games. Have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll see you guys again tomorrow night. As per usual, if you are wondering, if you are loving the content, I guess, don't fear if I'm a bit late, right? If I post at like 12:30 or whatever, it's because as soon as kickoff or as soon as full time whistle goes, I go and make the TikTok video for those guys, because that's, I guess, my main platform. But I'm growing the YouTube, so maybe there'll come a point where I do the YouTube video first and then go and make a TikTok. But yeah, if you're wondering why I'm always a little bit late on Champions League nights, that will be why. But I'm here regardless, so appreciate you guys. Again, road to 50k, road to 100k, big moves ahead. Thank you guys. In a bit. Bosh.